to Spoken Mate. Hello everyone. I'm Nancy Goel. So welcoming you all to Spoken Mate. So today the session is about IELTS. IELTS. First of all, we don't call it IELTS. Okay, so the pronunciation of this particular test, first of all, is not IELTS, it's IELTS. Okay, so IELTS, what does it stand for? This is International English Language Testing System. So if you are an aspirant where you want to actually take up some undergraduate or postgraduate course in foreign universities, then you apply for this test first. Seeing your score in this test, the foreign universities, they actually then your form is considered valid. All right, and another thing that we are talking of today is what are the other conditions to take up this test. When we are talking of IELTS, this is International English Language Testing System. So what are the other things? It is not only for study purposes, you can also, there is another module, you can also go for immigration purposes. So clearly it is showing that there are two types of IELTS test. One is academic, another is general training. The academic test, that is for the people who actually want to study in foreign universities. So it can be an undergraduate course, it can be a postgraduate course, and it can be for professional reasons also. And the one that is for general training, that is for vocational training or the people who actually want to migrate to the other countries. So that is for immigration purposes. For the people who are actually working here in their own country, so they can apply for general training. Seeing their experience, the companies, they invite you to their land and then you can apply for a job there. All right, so this is all about the two tests that is taken up in IELTS. One is the academic one, another is the general one. Academic is for students and general is for the people who are already working and they are looking for immigration to the other country. Now what are the countries where you can actually go? See, the very important countries where actually people apply for are Canada, Australia, UK, even US. US now actually there are certain universities who have made this test score IELTS as compulsory. And another test that is taken for the US is TOEFL, TOEFL. That is test of English as a foreign language. Okay, but IELTS is also considered valid by some universities. So you have to check that first before applying in the US. But in Canada, UK, New Zealand, Australia and several other European countries, it is considered valid. So IELTS test is compulsory there. Alright. So now coming to what is there in this test. Now there are four modules that we take up in this particular IELTS exam, be it academic or general. They are listening, one paper is of listening, another is of reading, third is of writing and last is of speaking. Listening, reading, writing and speaking. Now to tell you, listening, reading and writing happens on the same day, sometimes speaking also, but generally what happens is that speaking comes either a week prior to your test or after your test. So that is in between a week of your test date when you take that. Okay, so who are the people who conduct this test? It is British Council and ITP. Okay, so they conduct this test and you can apply for any of these, there is no difference. Okay, test dates, they are Actually, they come way before, so you can just see the schedule. Even after the lockdown, now they are open, so you can apply for the test now. And now coming to the four papers. Now for academic and general people, listening and speaking, that remains the same. But reading and writing, they are different. Reading of academic people is different from the ones of general training. Similarly, writing of academic and general people is different. We will come to that later. First, we will discuss about the test. Listening is of 30 minutes. 30 minutes, a CD, a listening is being played. You have to find the answers while that listening is being played. And then you get, at the end of this 30 minutes test, you will get 10 minutes to transfer your answer to the computerized answer sheet. So there are 40 questions in all. You have to attempt all of the questions. I'll come to that later, telling you what all are there in a listening test. And then this listening is same for academic and general. After doing this 30 plus 10 minutes of test, that makes the test of 40 minutes. Then we come to the reading test. A reading test is of 1 hour, 60 minutes, where you are given, now reading is different for academic and general. I am talking here of academic first. So academic reading, again, it is of 60 minutes. 60 minutes is for both, even for academic and for general. The time limit is the same. It is just the number of passages that you get in academic, they are the longer ones, and in the general they are quite short, and the number is more in general, whereas in academic you just get 3 long passages. So you get 60 minutes to crack all the answers. So there are again 40 questions in all, and you have to attempt all the 40 questions in 60 minutes of time, where you are not getting any extra time to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. So make it a point that whenever you are attempting this test, please transfer the answers side by side, because you are not going to get any extra time in reading paper. So 1 hour of reading now. Then you get a writing paper of 1 hour again. Again 1 hour is the time limit for both academic and general. And in both the modules, in academic and general, you get 2 tasks. Task 1 and task 2. Task 1 is different for academic and general, whereas task 2 is the same for both, which is an essay writing. You write an essay on different topics, and you generally, we say that you divide the time accordingly, that task 1 is of 150 words and essay writing is of 250 words. So you have to manage your time and finish it in 60 minutes. You are not given any extra time for revision or for anything. That has to be done in 1 hour, 60 minutes. Alright, so this makes the test at 2 hours and 40 minutes now. So roughly it takes 2 hours 40 to 45 minutes. These all 3 tests, they are conducted in a row. And then speaking test. About the speaking test, this is the same for both. Just little variation in the questions would definitely be there, because both the modules, the people, they are from different fields. Students, they are pursuing something else, and the people who are working, they are from some other field. That's why little variation in the questions, but the time limit, that remains the same. The long term, the questions of the cue card, they remains the same. That is not different. So when I come to speaking, so let's discuss speaking first. It is of 11 to 14 minutes. It just takes that much time, and your speaking is recorded. You can go in for revaluation purposes also, if you want to see that your band score is not the one that you actually were looking for. So in that case, then you can go for revaluation also. Definitely there is a revaluation fees that you have to pay, and then you can actually ensure your band scores. That can be done. So this is for 11 to 14 minutes. Now, on what basis are we judged in all these four modules? See, what we are given is, we are given a band score. In IELTS we call the score as a band score. So total bands we have till 9. 9 is the highest band score that we get. That means we have all correct. In listening, all 40 correct. In reading, all 40 correct. And in writing also we are getting 9 bands, and speaking also we are getting 9 bands. That makes 9 bands in all, overall 9 band score. So what we do is, an average of from all the four modules is taken out. That becomes your overall band score. Some countries, they prefer an overall band score, whereas in some countries and in some universities and in some jobs, some countries where people are looking for general training, they ask for a separate band score. There is a requirement of a particular band score in all the four modules. So they don't go for overall band score. They see your individual band score in all the four modules of this test. Okay, like if I talk of express entry to some countries, especially in Canada, where people with their spouse they go. So a couple, if they are applying for an express entry, generally the band requirement is 777-8. So 8 is the one which we want in listening, and rest 3, 7. So that are reading, writing and speaking. So 7 in all these 3 and 8 in listening. That makes your 777-8 band score for both the spouses, and then you are given the express entry to a country. Okay, so this is about the general training people who are going with the spouses. I'm just giving here an example of that 777-8. Okay, so rest of the things we will discuss, what kind of tests are there, so that we will discuss in our next session. So we will first cover up listening, then reading and writing and speaking. All the four modules will be covered. So this I have already told you that listening and speaking, that is the same for both the modules, for academic and general. Okay, so where we differ in reading and writing, that we will discuss in our next session. Alright, so bye bye for now.